Good evening, friends. So far, we have covered around 1360 words, which are useful for all kinds of exams. Right. Hope you have gone through the earlier videos. Otherwise, please go through the earlier videos where we have covered all the 1360 words. These 1360 words are high frequency words, which are coming repeatedly in various exams. They are helpful for all kinds of bank, IBPS, MBA, NDA, RRB, SSC, CGL, etc. All kinds of exams. These words are picked that way, which are coming frequently in the question papers. Right. We'll we'll cover thousands of more words so that any word or any word coming in any exam, you will not miss it. You will score 100 by 100. That is the goal. Whatever may be the exam. Even if it is CAT or GMAT, we don't need to worry at all. We'll cover all those words. Right. Let's start with the new set. Indict. Indict means accusing someone formally. In plus dictate. Dictate, Dictate is writing. Right. Indictate is, that's why it is formally accusing someone. That doesn't mean that it has been proved. It is not conviction. It is only indict. Indict only means it is accusing only. The bank manager was indicted for fraud. That means bank manager was accused of fraud. Accuse. Obviously, accuse is also charging someone with some crime. RO. Right. Accuse is definitely a synonym for indict. Let's see the other ones. Condemn. Condemn means you disapprove something. Right. Ninda karna hai. Right. Something bad that has happened that you condemn. You put your disapproval. Generally, you will see in news also that that certain statements by certain political leaders, etc., are seriously condemned. We condemn the terrorist act. That means we seriously disapprove the terrorist act. The government issued a statement condemning the killings. Right. Allege. Alleging is declaring something without any proof. It is just an allegation. Allegation means there is no proof yet. The prosecution alleges that she was driving carelessly. Means there is no proof. Allegation of murder. That means there is no proof yet. It is just declaring. It is just alleging. Reprimand. Reprimand means rebuke. It's datna. It is rebuking someone. He received a severe reprimand for his behavior. Let's say something has gone wrong, and that's why he has received that reprimand. In this case, accuse is the closest one, right? Superannuated means and means years, right? Superannuated. He has completed all the years. That means he has retired. Accept is nothing to do with retirement, right? Senile. Senile is also related to old age. It is old age. It's not about retirement. Retired is actually retired only. Superannuated means retired. Senile means old age. I think she is going senile, or her senile grandfather lives with them. That means that her old age grandfather, their old age grandfather lives with them. Experienced. Obviously, retired people are experienced people, but experience superannuation is not related to experience. Experience means who has got lot of experience. They need not be retired also, or they could be retired also. Endorse. Endorse means endorse endorse a product. Lot of movie actors or lot of cricketers endorse lot of products. What is endorsement? Endorse is giving approval. I wholeheartedly endorse his remarks. That means I give full approval. We don't know how many celebrities actually use the products that they endorse. Means whatever products they are promoting, we don't know how many of them actually use them. Right? Lot of movie actors or celebrities that they promote. Reprimand we just discussed. They're just giving a review. So he got a severe reprimand for his behavior. Censure is to criticize. To criticize. That is censure. Censor. It is related to censor also. Censor board. Censor board, the job of it is to criticize and cut whatever items that are not appropriate. Condemn. Condemn is showing disapproval. We just discussed this. Severely condemn. Government issued a statement condemning the killings. Stamina. Stamina means Shakti. Means physical or mental endurance. That is a strength. It takes lot of stamina to run a marathon, for example. Endurance. It is also power of endurance, ability to withstand prolonged strain. That is endurance. Stamina is related to endurance also. Let's see the other words. Intensity. Intensity is intenseness. Tivrata. Intensity of light, intensity of sound, intensity of color, intensity of feelings, intensity of relief, etc. Varying intensities. Intensity means the thickness or brightness, etc. That is intensity. Eager. Eager is enthusiasm. Eager means to having good enthusiasm. That is eager. Energy. Energy is the capacity to work, capacity to for activity. That is energy. Energy has come from Greek word ergon, which means work. Energy is the capacity to do work. Okay. So stamina is related to endurance also, energy also. Okay. Brash. We had discussed this earlier also. Brash. Remember it as rash. Who is someone who is very aggressive. That fellow is brash. Invective. Invective means strong verbal attack, full of invective against the government. A speech full of invective against the government. That means a speech full of attacks against the government. Rude. Rude is impolite, offensive. That we know, right? Abusive. Abusive is insulting. It is offensive. Abusive language. Abusive remarks. He became abusive when he was drunk. He was fined for making abusive comments, etc. Abusing relationship, abusing physically, sexually abusive, etc. These are all abusive. Rude comment, rude remark that we had discussed. Superficial. Superficial means it is only on the surface. It is lacking depth. Superficial analysis. That means the analysis is not deep enough. The book gives only a superficial understanding of the historical subject. Means the book only touches upon but doesn't go deep into the things, deep into the history. Superficial learning. That means it is not worth enough learning. It is not solid learning. Right? So brash means in this case it is rude. Invective also means verbal attack, but it need not be rude also. It could be for genuine reasons also. Decry. Decry means disparage. We had discussed earlier also. Disparage, decry, this finding fault, those deny. Right, that is decry. Deviate. Deviate is deviate from something. Deviate from something. It is not the usual route. You are deviating from the usual route. That is deviation. Despoil. Despoil means to plunder, to rob. That is not related to decry. Demure. Demure means the person is very quiet, very reserved. A demure young lady. A demure smile, etc. Means it is quiet. It is uh, she is quiet, demure lady. She is reserved. She is modest. Disparage. Disparage means criticize. I don't mean to disparage your achievements. Means I don't want to. I am not intending to criticize your achievements. Decry. Decry is equal to disparage. Decry is also criticize. Disparage is also criticize. Okay. Mollify. Mollify means appeasing. It means making someone calm or quiet. Someone who is already aggressive, you appease them, you mollify them. Mollify is a verb. His explanation failed to mollify her. That means he was not able to convince her. He is not able to please her. He is not able to shaman karna, right? He is not able to calm her down. That is mollify. Chastise is the opposite. Chastise is definitely not mollify. Chastise is rebuke severely, right? You abuse someone or you scold someone. That is chastise. He chastised the team for their lack of commitment. Right. That means insulting. It's kind of insult. It's kind of scolding. Chastise is close to scolding. Parents are not allowed to chastise their children nowadays, unlike in the previous generations. That means parents nowadays are not allowed to scold their children. Testify. Testify is completely different from qualify justice. Testify is to give some witness. She refused to testify against her father or brother or husband, etc. That means she doesn't want to give a witness against her husband or brother or father. He testified to receiving amounts in bribes. That means he has received bribes and he has accepted that in the court. That is testifying. Testifying is giving witness. Rebuke. Rebuke is kind of chastise again. That is censoring. It is expressing sharp disapproval. Right. That is also chastise and rebuke are actually synonyms. Appease. Appease is equal to mollify that we had discussed earlier. To please someone, to calm them down. That is appease. That is appease. Appease is also mollify. Recall. Recall. One is recalling vehicles. The vehicle has got some problem. Then the manufacturer recalls the vehicle. That is bringing them back. Okay. The another reason is bringing back to memories. Like vehicles are physical things. Bringing back to memory is also recall. You recall your early days, your school days. That means you are remembering back your school days. She could not recall his name because it was already so many years. She could not recall his name. That means she was not able to remember his name. She was not able to recollect his name. She was not able to. She could not recollect his name. Right. I vaguely recall seeing the film. That means I have seen the film, but I have very faint memory. It has happened so many years have passed, so I vaguely recall. Okay, so recall is to recollect or to remember. Speaking, speaking we all know. Let's go further. It is saying some words. Receive, receiving also we know. To take or accept. Right. Facing, face also we know. Face is as a noun, that is the head, and As a verb, it is facing, facing the situation or facing a difficulty, etc. Remember is recall, right? Remember is getting back into memory or keeping in memory. That is remember. Do you remember me? Do you remember her? I don't remember my first day at college, etc. As far as I can remember, this is this is our lesson number 20 or 25, etc. Jeopardy. Jeopardy is danger. It is severe danger. The war has put thousands of lives in jeopardy. Means the war has put everyone's lot of lives in danger. That is jeopardy. Magic we all know. Magic is some tricks involved. This kind of doing tricks. That is magic. Adventure. Adventure is an exciting experience. It is not jeopardy. It might be dangerous, but it is about exciting experience. Marvel. Marvel is a wonderful thing. The marvels of nature, the marvels of technology. The doctors have done marvels for him, right? So that is doing wonderful things in terms of quality also. That is marvel. Danger. Danger means we all know. Danger means khatra, right? So jeopardy is equal to danger. Economize. Economize being economical means being prudent, being using lesser resources. Okay. Accumulate. Accumulate is gathering things, acquiring increasing number of quantity. I have accumulated lot of books over the years. He accumulated a big fortune. We accumulated lot of evidence. The police accumulated lot of evidence for the crime. That means gathering or collecting together. That is accumulate. Eradicate. Eradicate is to destroy. Polio is still not eradicated in India. That means the polio is still there. It is not completely rooted out. Rooted out. It is not completely destroyed. Eradicate means complete destruction. Resell. Resell is selling again. Right. Selling again generally for profits. Why would anyone want to sell for losses? It is for profits. Okay. Reduce. Reduce. To make it small. That is reduce, right? So in all these cases, economics is being economical to make to save expenses or etc. To not use lot of things, use sparingly, right? Accumulate is not related, eradicate is also not related, resell also not related, reduce also not related. Actually, there is no synonym for economics in this list. Okay, let's go to the next one. Juvenile. Juvenile means is an youthful person, young person. Juvenile justice is different, right, than the adult justice. In India, juvenile justice means the justice that is dealt with the crimes done by people under the age of 18, right? Juvenile behavior. That means the behavior is because he is still not an adult. Generally, juvenile punishments are much less severe than the regular punishments, right? Hidden. Hidden means something that you cannot see. Hidden dangers in the ocean depths. That means you don't know. These are all hidden dangers. Juvenile is young. Young is also not old, right? So juvenile means young. Humorous. Humorous means having sense of humor. That is having a comical sense. That is humorous. Humorous movie. That means it's kind of funny movie. Tedious. We had discussed this earlier multiple times also. Tedious is tiresome. It is very long. Tedious journey. That means the journey is very tiresome journey. Tedious details. Very tiring details, etc. Venture. Venture nowadays we use it for business also. Venture capitalist, he started a new venture, etc. So generally venture means it's a risky undertaking. Disastrous business venture means it's a business, uh, it's a very risky business that ended in a disaster. Okay. Interest. Interest is actually putting trust in someone. That is interest. He entrusted the task to his nephew. That means he gave the task to his nephew. Risk. Risk means some danger is involved, some loss is involved. That is risk, right? Venture is definitely a risk. Travel has nothing to do with venture. Adventure, we had already discussed. It is some exciting experience. It might be risky. It might be risky also, but it is about exciting experience. So venture is actually risk. When there is a better word, we should pick the better word. Impertinent. Impertinent means disrespectful. Impertinent behavior, impertinent question. That means the question is not a respectable question. It is more insulting. Impertinent child. Okay? That means it is the child is disrespectful. Impudent. Impudent. Impudent also means impertinent. Disrespectful only. Skeptical. Skeptical is doubtful. She looked highly skeptical. Means she would have done something wrong and she looks that's so doubtful. And skeptical about the chance of winning means I'm very doubtful. I'm not sure whether we will win or not. Okay. Thoughtless. Thoughtless we all know. Not thinking thoroughly. Careless of consequences. That is thoughtless. Irritable. Irritable is the person who is very sensitive and can be annoyed very easily. That is irritable. So in this case, impudent is the correct synonym for impertinent. Impediment. We had discussed this earlier also. Ped. Ped means feet. Impediment. When you tie the feet, what will happen? It will obstruct your movement. You cannot move. So imped, im plus ped is tying your feet. That is becoming an obstruction. Right? Passes. Passes is a way. Impediment. Let's take an example. The level of inflation is a serious impediment for economic recovery. Impediment to economic recovery. Impediment to, we generally use it that way. Serious impediment to economic recovery. Impediment to peace negotiations. Speech impediment, hearing impediment, sight impediment, etc. Passes is the way by which you can pass. Obstruction is definitely impediment. Fateful. Fateful means very important, very decisive. It is controlled by fate. She looked back now to that fateful day. That means that fateful day, something would have happened on that day. It's a decisive day. It's a very important day. Something would have happened, and that's why she is remembering about that day. Destruction, we all know. Destruction is about destroying. Impediment might lead to destruction, but impediment means obstruction. Okay. Lurid. We had discussed this earlier also. Lurid details. That means these are very bright details, sensational, and that's why they are shocking also. Right. So they are sensational and shocking. Shocking. Lurid details of the murder. The paper gave all the lurid details of the murder. Or the television channel, TV channel, which is displaying all the lurid details of the murder. That means it is it is very glaring. It is sensational. It is shocking. Sensational is definitely a synonym here. Let's look at the other synonyms. Old is old. Old is not the one. Sensational is definitely a synonym. Let's look at the other. Obscene. Obscene means indecent, very offensive, that we had discussed earlier. Depraved. Depraved means correct, generally morally. In my view, this book would deprave young children. That means this book would corrupt young children. It will burst कर देगा. Right. Obscene is asleep. We had discussed this earlier also. Obscene gestures, obscene language, obscene books, obscene phone call, etc. Okay, obscene is used in other places also. Like for example, he earns an obscene amount of money. Okay, what that means is he earns too much money that it looks offensive also. It's obscene to spend so much on food when millions are starving. What that means is it is it, it is actually indecent to spend so much. Masterpiece. Masterpiece means an outstanding piece of artistry or workmanship. So generally, it is the best work of a person. Okay. Sample. Sample is a small representation. Small representation, right? It is not the complete thing. It's a random sample. So, for example, random sample of students. That means a small. Let's say there are 400 students in the class. If we take some 10 or 20, it's a random sample of the class. Okay. Generally, we use random samples for surveys to get neutral understanding of how people are thinking. Wonder. Wondering is admiration, right? I wonder who she is. Means I don't know who she is. I'm just admiring. I'm unfamiliar. Okay? Miracle. Miracle is something extraordinary, something supernatural, etc. Miracle is not related to masterpiece. Model. Model also we know. Model is something which is an ideal version also. Right? Model means something ideal also. That's why models are used. Right? Because the belief is model is that as an ideal person to be portrayed. Right? So masterpiece is related to wonder as well as model. Alert. Alert is staying watchful. Right. Staying very attentive. Alerted by a noise. The coast guards should always remain alert. Watchful. Watchful is same as alert. She is very watchful and alert. That means she is watching very carefully. Intelligent has nothing to do with alertness. Right. Intelligence is someone who is buddhiman. It observe. Observe is watching carefully. That is perceiving. Energetic is full of energy. Alert is closely related to watchful. Articulate. Articulate is able to express clearly. Right. She struggled to articulate her thoughts. That means she is not fluent. She is not clear in her speech. That is, she is having confusion or she is aspust. That is difficulty in articulation. Right. Articulate means speaking. He can articulately speak. She can articulate her thoughts. That means she can speak very clearly. Distinct. Distinct means it's not identical. Aggressive means forceful, hostile. Akrama, that is aggressive. Wayward is behaving more like child. A wayward child. Wayward emotions. It is more childishly self-willed. Okay, it's not adult behavior. Bewilder is confusing, perplexing. His complete lack of interest in money bewilders his family. That means it confuses his family. Okay, in this case, articulate is not related to any of these words. Veer. Veer is changing direction. The bus veered onto the wrong side of the road. That means the bus has has hit probably the margin. Right, it has gone on the wrong side. Veer is not just physical; it can be. It need not be less literal. It can be figurative also. Change in course of opinion, change in direction, etc. Okay. Shift. Shift is moving from one position to another position. That is shift. Dominate. That you know. Dominate is commanding, controlling. That is dominating. She is very dominating in the conversation. Right. That is dominating. Delegating. Delegate. Delegate means he is an elected representative. Delegate can also be used as verb also. Delegate as a verb means giving the power to someone else. You send a delegate instead of you. Concentrate. Concentrate is putting full attention. When there is so much noise, I cannot concentrate. Okay. So weir is closely related to shift here because shift also moving things from one place to another place. So weir also is changing direction. Supercilious. Supercilious means is very haughty, is very proud. Government. Indifferent. Indifferent is what we had discussed earlier also. There is no difference. He doesn't see the difference between good or bad, or rich or poor, etc. Showing indifference is lack of interest. The government cannot be indifferent to the public opinion. Means government should take care of public opinion. If it stays indifferent, means it is just not worried about opinion. Annoy. We know what is annoy. To to cause to give anger. Right. Annoy. Supercilious is really actually related to haughty. Haughty is arrogant. Right. Supercilious is also arrogant, commanding. Angry has not nothing to do with supercilious. We all know what is anger. Demit. Demit is actually resign from a position. Promotion is definitely not resigning, right? Promotion is to giving a better position. He is promoted to be a manager. Judge. Judge, one it can be used as a noun as well as verb also. Judge is the one public official who is appointed to judge the cases, right? Or giving the person what he does, he gives his opinion or judgment, right? That is judge. Judging the quality of a good. That means you estimate the quality of the good. That is judge. Appoint. Appoint is giving a job. This is not related to demit. Demit is actually resigning from the job. Resign is the correct word here. Berserk means very angry, and this anger is actually in a violent way. It is without control. It is fully excited. Clever is not related to this. We know clever means talented, skillful. Morose means is dull, gloomy. Gloomy. Cheerful is also not related to berserk. Cheerful means in good spirits. She is always cheerful. Wild. Wild means unrestrained. It is not domesticated. Domesticated dog is different from wild dog. Domesticated dog listens to your words. Wild dog doesn't listen to your words. This is not cultivated. It is not civilized. Wild cat, wild buffalo, etc. They will not listen to you. Right? It is they are not restrained. They cannot be restrained by you. They cannot be controlled by you. Right? So berserk is also the same thing. Right? It is actually very violent and generally without control. So wild is also the same thing. Among all these words, wild is closer to this berserk, right? Wild is also without restraint. Grotesque. Grotesque is absurd, vichitra. It is more of comical also. Grotesque distortion of the truth. That means it is almost funny also the way that they have changed the truth. The story was too grotesque to believe. Right. It's grotesque to expect a person of her experience to work for so little money. Now you have understood, right? It is completely distorted. Grotesque means absurd. Grotesque means absurd. You can't believe. Incongruous. Fantastic. Fantastic means fabulous. Excellent. Exaggerate. Exaggerate is making some small thing bigger. He tends to exaggerate the difficulties. That means whatever are the difficulties, he will actually make them magnified. Exaggerate is making something big. That is exaggerate. Colorful is full of color. Pompous. Pompous means pompous person is full of gun, is self-important. Pompous official. His speech sounded very pompous. That means he is congratulating himself. He is talking only about himself. Okay. So grotesque is actually not related to any of this. Counsel. Counsel is giving advice. Follow my counsel. That means follow my advice. You listen to the counsel of your elders. In the end, wiser counsels prevail. Okay? Correct. Correct means what is true, what is accurate. Publish. Publish is to make it, to announce it to public, or you show it to public. For example, the first edition was published in 2000. He works for a company that publishes books, etc. Publishing is making it public. Oppose. Oppose is opposing something is not agreeing, resisting, arguing, or competing against something. Advise. Advise is Advice is giving advice, giving some recommendation, giving some idea, giving some salah. Salah dena hai, right? Counsel is actually giving advice. This is the right meaning. Succulent. Succulent means juicy. Succulent leaf, succulent branch, succulent pear, succulent apple, etc. It means it is very juicy. Okay. In Latin, succus means juice. Okay. You remember this word? Suck. You suck a juice, right? You don't eat a juice. You suck with a straw, etc. So succulent is actually juicy, thick and fleshy. Succulent of a plant, it means it is very thick and fleshy. Fleshy. Fluid, we all know what is fluid, right? It is not solid or not gas. Suck. Suck is the verb to take liquid or air. That is sucking, right? Juicy. This is what we had just discussed. Full of juice. Juice is succulent. Sweet. Sweet has nothing to do with succulence, right? So sweet is something which is tasting like sugar, right? So succulent is equal to juicy. Sure, guys. So I think we have started with 1360, 1361, and we have reached 1484 or something like this. So we have covered another, I think, 125 words in this session. Great. These are all very important words which come very frequently in all the exams. So please go through these words again and again and try to remember the meanings and write them down so that you will remember also. And keep note of the grammatical usage also, and keep watching the videos again and again until you thoroughly understand and remember the exact meanings of these words. It is important to know the meanings of the words and the slight differences of the related synonyms, because in a lot of exams it boils down to getting knowing that critical small difference. Day by day the exams are becoming complex. We need to know these small minute differences also, right? When the exams become complex, when the questions become tougher, this will matter a lot. All the best, guys. Thank you. Bye.